it's always going to affect my life. I can't take off my skin color. As a black woman, like, prejudices that exist against me don't exist against you, Brian. And that's why you can't be racist against a white person. So I'm sorry if you feel offended, but you are white, and me calling you white boy isn't exactly racist.
I mean, you are addressing me by my skin color. I consider
your skin color will never lead to the, premature murder of yourself. Like, I don't know, like.
I would actually point out one thing to you. Me as a white man, I'm the only male at this table here. There are more white men killed by police officers than women of any race combined.
I mean, then why aren't you mad? Why don't you hate police too?
Because I realize that police are a necessary function of society. Without police, it would be chaos.
Anyone can be racist. It doesn't matter if you're green, yellow, black, blue, or a fucking donut like this woman. You can still be a racist. Look, I believe in free speech and being able to protest what you want, but when you start disrupting the average working person's day, then you're a pain in the arse and no one's going to listen to your message.
How are we taking the rights of women away if we don't know what a woman is?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I get it. I see what you're saying.
Life scale, yes, absolutely. I have full capabilities of becoming a wife.
Oh no.
What? Correct me if I'm wrong, you are a sex worker, right?
Yeah.
Why would you think that you would make a good wife?
Just because I have a certain profession does not take away from my ability to care, love, and provide something that my partner is seeking.
Are you sure about that?
Well, the science would disagree. Have you ever heard of a phenomenon called pair bonding?
No, tell me.
Are you aware that the less sexual partners a woman has, the easier it is and the more likely it is that she can pair bond with her first sexual partner?
Mm-hmm. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I can't bond with my person now.
Well, it's true. You could be the exception to the rule, but wouldn't it throw up a red flag if it was known that the more sexual partners a woman had, the less likely it would be that she would actually be able to bond with you? For instance, the more men you sleep with, the more likely you are to be divorced, for instance. The more likely you are to step out of a long-term relationship. All of those things are true, and that's probably due to this pair bonding thing. So why would a man want to trust a sex worker to be a wife?
I mean, away from all that, no man in his right mind is going to want to settle down with a porn star that's all over the internet doing God knows what with other men.
People always ask me what my pronouns are. My pronouns are let, me, she, them.
What did he say?
Do you think it's racist to require an ID to vote?
Yes. Just harder to get around if they have lack of transportation.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely, because they're less likely to have state IDs.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also would make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
I beg your pardon?
It's always funny to me watching people try their hardest not to be racist and they end up sounding more racist. They're basically saying that black people are useless donuts that don't have IDs and aren't capable of voting.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with.
Do you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, could we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Do you have an issue with that?
No.
What exactly about socialism do you not like?
Like the 130 million people that died under socialism in the last 100 years.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
The fact that every country that engages in a socialist direction becomes less free, less prosperous.
Do you think that maybe there's a middle ground where you can have a little bit of both.
Everything comes at a price. The states that are the most socialistic are the worst and hardest states to live in this country. California, New York, Illinois have the most people leaving. Highest taxes, most social benefits, most social welfare, and they're leaving for states that are freer with lower taxes and more economic freedom. So everything comes at a price.
I mean, if you love socialism so much, why don't you go and live in a socialist country? Oh yeah, you can't, because they don't exist, because it's a load of shit.
Have you heard of the term microaggression?
Yeah, that's a big thing on campus. If we see large-scale violence, we can name that as a macroaggression, but the way that we devalue that violence, the way that we silence that violence, that's a microaggression.
I'm asking an Asian American, where were you born?
Yes.
Very, very contextual, you know?
That's not a microaggression, that's just asking where they were born.
Telling a black student that he or she is very articulate.
That is, yeah. Yes.
What about saying all lives matter?
I think because the history behind Black Lives Matter, it's kind of like appropriating a statement that was created specifically to talk about Black lives being lost to police brutality, so that is.
I'm colorblind, I don't see race.
Possibly?
I believe the most qualified person should get the job.
Qualifications aren't really the only thing you should consider when hiring someone.
If you're saying that the most qualified person is someone who is not a minority or not of a religion you believe in, then yes, that'd be a microaggression.
Saying God bless you after somebody sneezes.
Oh, that would be a microaggression because of different religions. Yeah, it could be a microaggression to someone who doesn't believe in God.
I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Not only have a lot of these college students become a lot dumber, but they've also become so ridiculously soft. If we're invaded, or any of these people have to go to war, then we're fucked.
People can't seem to grasp the fact that I'm a lesbian.
So if a donkey want to be a camel, but he don't like the camel, he go like donkey. So, hey brother, I identify as a bank owner from now on.
Yeah, we're all confused, including them. You can't understand something that the people trying to explain can't even understand or explain themselves.
When you pass puberty and you are becoming a woman, your body will send extra fat cells down here to protect your uterus, because your body loves you so much, it's trying to protect your femininity. So be nice to it.
As a wise pirate once said,
keep telling yourself that, darling.
I know this is not going to go on the air. You don't unless it is because I'm like a liberal freakout, right? I can't put up with white supremacy, because that's really what, yeah, you might not be able to see it. Either you don't want to, or you just...
Okay, so what if there's a black squatter and a black homeowner? That's not white supremacy.
See, white supremacy is not an affliction of skin. It is a state of mind.
Yeah, the lights are on, but nobody's home with this Muppet.
Sam Smith wows walking the runway for Vivienne Westwood's Paris Fashion Week. How did he wow you? Wow, Sam Smith found something uglier to wear than the giant balloon suit. Wow, Sam Smith worships the devil, but not even Satan himself would co-sign this bullshit.
I see this, and all I think is...
Ugh. Brother, what's that?
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
That's not a compliment at all, and you know it isn't. You're basically just saying to her, you're only as successful as you are because you're white. If that was the other way around, there'd be outrage.
A group of liberal professors recently claimed that pointing out Hamas's atrocious record on gay rights is in and of itself homophobic violence.
So I've been at protests where I'm then told, don't you know what Hamas would do to you if you were in Palestine? And we have to start naming this actually as homophobic.
This is why people are leaving the left. And this is also why people feel like they're going insane. Because you can't just make an observation about a thing anymore without being labeled a bunch of names.
Yeah.
Just for being an honest person now, People will say you shouldn't work anymore, and you should. It's absolutely flustering. You're like, that's a guy in a dress. They go, what did you say?
Yeah.
It's not a guy. And he's like, I'm pretty sure it's a biological guy. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
Women have lost their damn mind.
All these donuts defending an organisation that would probably have their head on a spike just shows how much they need Michael.
Get some help.